know you like to think your shit don't stink. But something, 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 roses really smell like poo, poo, poo. Do you remember that song?
I do, but where is that from?
I think it was, the guys that did the, Hey Ya.
Hey, yeah. But which guy? That was a big. I remember back in the day. And by the way, this is horribly off topic. Episode number 155. I'm Chris and
I'm Steve.
He's Steve.
You had to get really fast, dude.
I did because I want to get back to the okay. So Outkast back in the day. I don't know about them at all before that album that was basically like 2 albums, and it was like each one of them did like half the damn songs, but they still, it was like they were fucking the John McCartney and Paul Lennon of hip hop.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, but halfway through, I was like, I messed up one. I'll do the other one.
Okay. Could have just said yes.
Yes. I did.
Yes, and.
Yes, and. That's why I flunked improv class. So they were.
Did you take an improv class?
No, I never did. Yes, and.
Yes, and it was great.
Yes, and it was great. All right, so I got to look this up because I don't remember the name of it. Outkast. I feel like one part of it was the Love Balloon. Outkast with a K. I was listening. The last thing I was listening to was Trevor Noah's African American comedy special.
Oh,
that was where he talked Speaker Box and the Love Below. That was the name of the album. Speaker Box / the Love Below. That came out in the year 2003.
Yeah, I remember being at Framingham at the time, and it coming out and it constantly playing on the radio.
Yeah,
Hey Ya constantly playing.
Yeah, Hey Ya, and it seemed to me that guy, whoever.
And then what was the one who was like, let's get it started.
That
/ let's get retarded.
That is that's Fergie Ferg. What's her name? And the guy that's on Planet of the Apps.
That's a different band?
Yeah, it's a different band. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the whole damn...
No, Let's Get It Started is the motherfucking those guys.
Oh, okay.
Motherfucking those guys.
Let me look it up.
Let's you look it up, because I have to look at this at Speaker Box / The Love Below. And so, like, Speaker Box was the one guy, and The Love Below was the other guy. And so you had... let's see. You had D-Boy. No, The Love Below. Where Are My Parties? She Lives in My Lap, featuring Rosario Dawson. Whoa, shit. Hey Ya, right? And then you had I don't know. There must have been another song off this fucking album. It wasn't just Hey Ya. What the hell was the other album? I mean, the other.
Oh, that was the Black Eyed Peas.
The Black Eyed Peas. That's right. The Black Eyed Peas.
Why did I think they were the same?
I
They're
don't
like
know.
a super
maybe you're
group.
Maybe you're a little racist.
I'm a little racist, I guess, but like also, I mean, that was 2004.
Yeah.
But they were like a super group.
They were. They were like one thing, and then like Fergie, the blonde woman, who's the singer, one of the singers in the group. I think she'd been in an all-girl group, and they sort of like brought her over into it, and that's what got them the sort of super group moniker. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm being confused. That's why I'm confusing the bands started. Because they were super groups. I also would have was that like the Traveling Wilburys that did that.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I tried to pull a Traveling Wilburys reference there, but the end of the line.
That was me covering my ass. Yes. Yeah. And the end of the line was.
End of the line was it. So that was like fucking George Harrison, Tom Petty, and they had Bob Dylan. Roy Orbison.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Dylan was there.
He was on one of them. I don't know if he was on both of the big singles. And Jeff Lynne.
Yeah, from ELO.
Yeah. Dylan was on one of them, and maybe he replaced... Wow, I hope somebody knows a lot about this band, and we get a really long email about everything we're getting wrong.
And and why Steve is racist, apparently. I guess he mixed 2 bands up from the early 2000s that were super groups.
That were, yeah. I wish I could remember what the hell the other fucking song by Outkast off that album was. I don't know. Maybe it came later. Maybe it was the next album.
At least I didn't get Hey Ya wrong.
Hey Ya.
Poo poo poo.
No, Roses.
Yeah.
Roses is the other one. Okay, there we go. which it looks like. So if I'm looking
that
at
was
this,
the song that's what we started.
That's
the
what we
show
started
with.
off with, and I couldn't. Okay, thank you.
Roses really smell like poo poo poo.
It looks like that might be the same guy. So I remember. I think. Okay, this is all coming back to me. So the guy who did the Love Below, he was the Hey Ya guy. He also did Roses, and so I was like, but what's the other guy do? I don't know any of the other guy's songs, and so like if I'm reading this correctly. Right? Yeah, let's see. It looks like it's a double live. No, it's a double album. Looks like. So there's intro, there's ghetto music, there's unhappy, bow tie.
You don't have to list them all.
The way
Chris.
you move the rooster, and no, I don't know.
I don't remember any of them.
I don't remember
those
any
two.
of the other guy. And does that make me racist?
Yes. I mean, everybody is. So
Everybody's a little racist.
Although I don't like that goddamn musical.
Well, what musical is that?
The Avenue Q.
Oh, Avenue Q. That's the one with the puppets.
Yes.
Do the puppets fuck in that musical?
I don't know. I've never actually seen it, but people
like things, and you don't like things that people like.
No, it's that it's not good, but people also like it. It's like The Big Bang Theory.
Yes, and my family, and I'm going, so we are recording very early on a Saturday morning.
We are not drinking alcohol.
We are not.
I did not make mimosas, and although I think people are annoyed by the way I say mimosas. Mimosas. I did not make mimosas or Bloody Marys or anything
tequila Sanwawas.
Or Irish coffee or anything like that.
Irish coffee. I like a little Irish in my coffee.
Is that like you want jizz?
I don't know. So we're recording very early because I'm going on vacation with my immediate family. With my parents and with my aunt and uncle and my cousin and her kids, and her husband. They love, everybody in my family. But I don't think Steph has ever watched it. I don't think my kids have really watched it. They love The Big Bang Theory.
I
don't understand it.
Becky and her family like it too.
Yeah. Maybe you can love The Big Bang Theory if you weren't actually ever a dork or geek. Like you.
But Becky is though.
Is she like on the cusp? Is she like? But she's like. She seems like she's cool too. Like she's a cool.
But we're cool.
We are not cool. Steve.
Shut up, Chris.
This is me. There are dorks and geeks and dweebs and nerds who are cool. And they're those things, right? And then there are those of us who are dorks and dweebs and nerds and like who were never cool and never will be cool. And I think we don't understand The Big Bang Theory.
I know exactly. It's.
Do you know what I'm saying, Steve?
Yes, I know what you're saying, but like it always comes back to Community with me because they were on at the same time in the same time slot.
Yeah.
So that's why I think there's an unspoken, if not spoken, rivalry between the two shows and fans of the two shows.
Not dissimilar from Friends and Seinfeld, which were on at the same time.
I think they weren't. They were on the same network.
I did, but not the same. Oh, you mean literally the same time?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were just talking like same time frame.
No, they were on at the same time on the same day of the week.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Back when people, I guess, still watch television.
Yeah.
Like at a time.
At a time and place.
Yeah. I mean, this coming weekend, I think people will be watching.
I don't know why that might be.
Watching the old Game of Thrones.
As long as there are dragons, we can do anything we want. I think John Oliver said something about that on. He was
last
on
week tonight or one of the other late night shows.
He was on Colbert's show.
Okay.
And he was talking about like something to the effect of like we can do anything we want as long as there are those dragons. We're good.
Yeah, we're making like bank over there, so we're good. We're good. But yeah, the
what happens if they kill one of them?
I don't know. People,
Sheldon's head will explode.
So what the going phrase is that Community is a smart show about dumb people.
Okay, I didn't see that. Yep.
And Big Bang Theory is a dumb show about smart people.
Yes.
And it's simple as that.
Okay, so Community appeals to smart people who like to feel superior over dumb people.
Not necessarily.
And The Big Bang Theory appeals to dumb people who like seeing...
who like making fun of smart people.
Making fun of dorks and dweebs and nerds because it makes them feel bad. It makes them go back to their high school days where they were superior over all of these people who are out there making more money and having more success in life than they are because they're pathetic and they're sitting on their couch stealing fucking movies because they don't believe they should pay for anything.
What?
Sorry. I'm going to have fun on vacation, but I also think I have a... Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as not paying for stuff, I mean, I get it. Like,
Sorry, I'm like I am horribly off topic.
No, I mean, this is a good thing to talk about because, like there's... I mean, with the way we can stream things now...
Yes.
In 2017, it's better. Like we can stream things off of like Hulu or HBO or all right. There's legal means to easily stream movies.
But that's what smart people do.
No, shut up about
but smart people. No. Okay. Not smart and dumb. Let's take it out of that. But here's what I'm gonna say. Right, like you are aware that you can, and you're at a certain income level where you can afford to pay for Hulu.
And Netflix
and whatever, right?
I mean, even if I wasn't, I think like I could afford to pay for, like, you know, like go out one less night of the week and then have entertainment for the month. Yeah.
But I have relatives who don't want to pay for any of those things, and not only don't want to pay for any of those things, but they don't pay to go out to the movies because they've found the service. They showed me this service once. I don't remember what it's called.
Well, it's probably good that we're not promoting something illegal.
Yeah. Where they can literally watch any movie they want, including most movies that are out in theaters by the end of the weekend that they're out. And of course, as the movie's been out longer, higher quality versions of it are available. But for absolutely nothing, they can, and that's how they get their entertainment. And I get it. They don't have a ton of like disposable income to like throw at entertainment, but I think even if they did, there's this divide, and I can't figure out where it is. There's this divide where they don't think they should have to pay for it, right? They think they should be able to get entertainment for free, whatever they want.
No,
and they don't really stop to think about it. So we can talk about this later. We talked about a movie we've both seen, and you asked, did I stay through for the credits? Now, one of the reasons I stay through for the credits on these kind of movies is that they usually have some tag that makes it worth it, that gives me an extra chuckle or whatever. But the other reason is that I like looking and realizing like the hundreds or thousands of people who actually have jobs to put out one of these goddamn movies. Even a bad one, like the hundreds and thousands of jobs that
like that Dudes and Dragons movie that Becky helped produce,
right?
with her crowdfunding thing. That was really bad.
Anyway,
but it had James Marsters in it.
Buffy.
I think that's well, you know, it was post Buffy.
Oh, okay.
Post Buffy.
Well, yeah. He doesn't have the.
He was also in. I keep on forgetting this. He was Piccolo in the Dragon Ball movie.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was Brainiac in Smallville. That's where I know him from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I knew he was on Buffy, but I never watched Buffy. And then it was a big deal when I think it was Buffy was over, and then they're like, we need a new villain for this next season of Smallville. We're going to grab that guy from Buffy. And I was like, oh, I guess people love Buffy, so I guess it's good. This show that I barely tolerate watching, Smallville, is going to get a good actor that everybody loves.
Was he good in it?
He was James Marsters in it.
Oh, okay. Was he British or not British?
He was not British.
Okay, because I think the actor is in fact
American. Okay. Yeah,
is American, but like he played he was Spike for so long that he like people I think thought he was actually British.
Yeah, no, he's playing a Kryptonian robot.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, you know, I think he's like he's Clark's professor at not Smallville State, at like Kansas State or some goddamn.
But I mean,
made up college.
Before Netflix streaming, before Hulu, and before Amazon, streaming service, all those things, before those existed.
Yes.
I understand why people would download and pirate things illegally, because there wasn't an easy way to consume the media. I mean, there are people like like going to the movies now. I mean, this is why we didn't record last night, is because we already ordered our tickets to go to the movie last night. Because you have to plan in advance nowadays.
It's like going to a regular theater show at this point, because they've got, by making the seats bigger and more comfortable, they've limited the number of seats. So you really have to
plan ahead. I mean, there are some theaters, like I think when we, like a couple weekends ago, we went to see Beauty and the Beast at the Strand in Clinton.
Yeah,
and that's like a regular-ish theater, but it's they have little tables in front of you. You can get some food and beer and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a cute little place, but it's unlikely that anybody that any second-run theater is going to fill up,
right?
Like on any movie, unless it's like like Rocky Horror or some fucking thing that people go cuckoo bananas over. But nowadays that there's so many easy ways to stream media, I think it's less acceptable.
I agree. I mean, and I try not.
I'm not going to fault people to a certain extent, because like I said, like you said your family doesn't maybe have enough, but like but it's wise as a media consumer to provide money to the things that you really like, and I am the broken record that is Steve, and talking about One Piece. I enjoy One Piece a lot. I also read like the early released pirated chapters, because for some no crazy reason, the official release of both in the United States and Japan happens on typically Mondays.
Right.
The pirated version comes out like typically Thursday before the official release.
Yeah, but you're still paying for...
I have a subscription to Weekly Shonen Jump. It's cheap as hell if you're interested. It's like $25 a year.
Yeah. I mean, I think...
And I also buy the volumes when they come out. I buy the collections for the anime on DVD when they come out. Yeah. I mean, I'm supporting the thing that I love because I want it to continue to exist in the United States in legal forms.
Right. And so I know, I definitely think that's important. And that's, I also, so I'm not a spiritual person, but I believe in karma. And so as a person who creates stuff,
like we do,
a couple of years ago, I just made a decision. I was not downloading anything illegally anymore. That was commercially available. I still.
I mean, the caveat is commercially available. I mean, there's plenty of people out there, and Nintendo. This is. I mean, you'd think that I hate Nintendo with the amount of times that I bash them.
No, you love Nintendo, and you want to it's. I listen to a lot of Apple focused shows, and the people bag on Apple a lot. It's because they love Apple and they want Apple to be like better.
Yeah. So what was it? Earthbound was one of my favorite games of all time on the Super Nintendo, and the sequel to it, I mean, it was called Mother 2 in Japan. So Mother came out, that was the first one. It was supposed to be Earthbound here, but it was like the end of the NES's life. Oh, so it never came out here.
Yeah,
and they've since released Earthbound Origins on the Wii U.
Yeah,
which is basically the original Mother, and then Mother 2, which is Earthbound, which we got on Super Nintendo.
Right,
and then Mother 3 came out for the Game Boy Advance in I think 2003. If anybody out there in the Nintendo history wants to correct me on that one, but I'm probably right.
Yeah,
either 2003 or 2004, and a lot of really like hardcore Earthbound fans and Nintendo fans really wanted that game. Like, the character Ness is in like almost, in fact, I think every single Smash Brothers game.
Right. Because
the folks that produced the Smash Brothers series also, they were a production company, worked on Earthbound, which, had heavy affiliations to Nintendo. And so there was, Lucas and Ness are both in like the most recent versions of Smash Brothers, and so people are like, "Where's fucking Mother 3?" And I think there was a joke at one of the E3 presentations like that. I think Robot Chicken did an animation for it, and I think there was some like nerd sitting in the audience screaming about Mother 3, and it was probably me.
Well, so. I want to bring us back to...
So, I mean, that is like one of the few games that I have on my computer. Like,
right, because you can't get it.
Because I can't get it legally.
Yeah.
I want to get, like it's shut the old adage, shut up and take my money.
Right, yeah. And there was a because I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, there was what was called the Nin Drive that was out there for a while, and it was bootlegs of every concert that had ever been recorded. So not necessarily every concert they ever performed, but every concert that there was some source out there for. This group of people had put together this one big drive. And so I did download that at some point, but none of the stuff on there was commercially available. And in fact, I think Trent Reznor actually linked to it himself. He's like, yeah, you want to go get like the live repository? Here, you can go listen to all this stuff.
Typically live recordings, unless you are planning on a live recording,
right,
they sound like shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I imagine a lot of
them were not.
And since I've never been a real big Nine Inch Nails fan, I probably thought them to be shitty as hell.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them were not very good, and that's why eventually I liked the novelty of having all of them, but then I tried listening to and some of them were good, but it was not worth having that much of my hard drive taken up by it.
I remember going to a free show at the Hat Shell in is the Hat Shell in Boston or is it in Cambridge?
It's in Boston. It's on Boston side of the river.
It's on the right near the Charles River.
The River Chuck.
We went there. It was I forget the fuck. It was who did Love Me, Say That You Love Me.
Oh God.
Should I look it up?
No, I can look it up.
But it was them, it was Morphine, and They Might Be Giants, like doing a free show at the Hat Shell.
Oh, it's interesting.
And so I had my little tape recorder in my pocket, and I tried to record the show, but it was mostly like muffled the show and occasionally us talking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's the Cardigans.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to bring this back.
Bringing it back
to Community, and that's where this all started. It was Community.
I don't even know where this fucking started.
It's early enough in the day
that
my brain is working.
Started with super groups.
See, this could be a very different type of show because I can actually keep track of all the topics we got horribly off of. So for me, this thread all started. This thread all started back with your Community versus. The
Big Bang Theory.
Shitty Bang Bang.
That show that really smells like poo, poo, poo.
So the Shitty Bang Theory, Big Bang Theory and Community. So Big Bang Theory is still on.
Yep.
But Community, as I recall, was almost canceled a couple times and then canceled and then finally brought back for an extra season somewhere else, right?
Yeah, it was, okay, so... It was on for 3 seasons. They fired Dan Harmon as the showrunner.
Right.
And he was the creator. So season 4 is
not
so great. But then they hired him back for season 5.
Yeah.
But then they canceled it. And then they brought it back again on Yahoo for 1 season.
Yahoo!
And now all 6 seasons are available on Hulu.
So I guess in my brain, I kind of want to draw this connection or make a point about smart people versus so the dumb people in that analogy, or the people who like the Big Bang Theory. People like the Big Bang Theory, and maybe it's just that CBS is willing to shovel they know what is a hit and they just shovel money into it and they keep it on the
whereas
the Community was on NBC, right?
Right.
And it seems to me that NBC, maybe ABC, to a lesser extent, they don't know what the fuck they're doing when they get a good show, as opposed to Fox and CBS, where you may not like the shows that Fox or CBS put out, but they know what their audience is and what they make. And they go, that's a good show. We're gonna stick the fuck with it, and it's just gonna. I mean, not in every case.
NBC, I think 30 Rock was on at around the same time, and that did pretty damn well, and
right.
Had a decent following. It's just I think I don't know why. I think it might have Community might have fallen into the Arrested Development sort of cliche of a bunch of characters that aren't particularly likable.
Right.
But
Okay.
but you know when you see all those unlikable people as an ensemble, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you see just a bunch of negative people saying negative things, then it ends up turning people off. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's both shows, both Arrested Development and Community, are fantastic.
Yeah.
Although the final season of Arrested Development, or not the final, the most recent one that was the Netflix
on Netflix. Yeah.
It was different and and not quite as funny. I'm hoping that in the new one that they do, they kind of iron out their storytelling, because it was sort of like the way they told the story was just odd.
Yeah.
And it was, they kept on telling it from certain characters' perspectives, and there was a lot of overlap in between like the scenes, and and it was sort of like kind of like a mystery of how did all these things happen.
Yeah.
But it also was just kind of like ugh.
Yeah. Well, like
it was exhausting by the end of that season.
The shut up and take my money thing is something that factors in here for me, and it's like, so
for you?
No, well, for me, no. So like a Netflix show, like a Netflix, they will keep a show. I mean, they must have great statistics. That's the other part of it. Is that Netflix is able to see, okay, X amount of people watch this show, X amount of people stopped watching the show at this minute. Like, they're able to do crazy stuff like that. And I think that they're willing to keep shows on the air for a lot longer than like an NBC or a CBS or a Fox. Like, all these places, they have antiquated technology like sitting on top of certain people's TV boxes to tell them what's popular and what's working. And I don't know. The whole thing, just like when you love something, Steve, when you love something, you hate to see it go away. And when people don't appreciate what you love, you'll go to great lengths. For instance,
what's that?
Headline from the Universal Hub: alleged juggalo with an axe taken into custody after demanding Kiss 108 play an Insane Clown Posse song.
Now, this is a story that can easily be national, but we're also getting local, because Kiss 108 is the local Kiss affiliate here in the greater Boston area.
Yes. I used to work in the building where I don't know if they still broadcast from there, but no, it was AAF that was in that building. Kiss was across the street at the Prudential, but AAF was in the building.
AAF was I thought they were broadcasting out of Worcester.
At the time that I worked there in this building from
this is really getting local for you.
1999 to 2000. At least one of the DJs that was on AAF was broadcasting out of the building that I was in, which was across the street from the Prudential Tower, because I would go down to the lunchroom, and every once in a while I would hear this voice behind me and turn around, and I forget, was Greg Hill? No, he's up in New Hampshire, right? I don't know who the fuck it was.
No, Greg Hill he was on AAF,
okay, so maybe,
I think still is.
Maybe it was Greg
Hillman in the morning.
Yeah, whoever it was one of the like recognizable AAF voices would be like right behind me in line. It was this tall bastard.
He must have fucking like. I remember when Howard Stern left terrestrial radio back in like 2004, 2005.
Yeah,
I remember he must have just been like gleeful because David Lee Roth replaced Howard Stern in I think the East Coast markets, and I think Adam Carolla replaced him on the West Coast. I mean, Adam Carolla I think is funny enough. He does say some shitty and controversial things every once, but what freaking like radio personality in the world hasn't? So I mean, including us. I'm sure there's somebody out there that fucking hates everything we say.
Oh yeah,
and
there's that one guy who listens to like every 12th show and posts an angry review on.
It's like, these libtards are libtards. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I guess so. But Bop She Bop Man.
Yeah, like, he was the worst.
Bop She Bop.
But yeah, so it's Maddie in the morning, and I think that was the show that they were the guy was he calling in, or was he standing outside the studio? Or well, obviously he wasn't in the building.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
because I hope that fucking Kiss 108 has enough security to not let a juggalo into the fucking studio or right outside. Are you reading more into the story?
Well, yeah. the way they characterize Kiss 108, we'll get to it. So NBC Boston reports on the tense standoff between the Axeman and police, who eventually, the Axeman and police.
Was he doused in Axe body spray? Was that the axe he was carrying?
The Axeman and police, who eventually got him to surrender peacefully in the Medford parking lot of the disco station, which tends not to play much horrorcore. Disco station.
I don't consider what? Maybe in the 1970s.
Decade are we?
In the 70s, it might have been a disco station, or maybe in the early 80s when we were still little lads.
Smoochacha, who works in the same building, reports.
Worst name ever. Who reports?
So, no idea how that all started. We just suddenly got an email from the facilities guy telling us not to go out the back door due to a quote, a police situation, unquote, in the parking lot. Of course, we all ran to the windows to watch because it's a Monday and we're bad people. And then 24 police.
Why are they bad people for wanting to see something that's fucking newsworthy?
I don't know. Smooch Chacha obviously feels bad about this.
I feel bad about looking at like some crazy shit that's happening right outside my fucking window. Whoa. Like if someone was like if
you should treat yourself better, Smoochacha.
Yeah.
You are a good person.
Is
you are not a bad person.
A man, a lady?
It does not identify gender here.
Okay, so the non-gender specific person, Smoochacha.
Yes. Smoochacha. And then 24 police/state.
No, but hold on a sec. Like if I was standing like in my building,
yeah,
like because we were right by a window. If there was some fucking crazy shit happening on the building, or like if there was like a tense like police shootout on the top of a building nearby, I'm fucking looking at it.
Yeah,
I've got my phone. Like I don't take video of things. I've got my phone out and I'm taking video of that crazy shit.
There's a guy with a spider-themed body stocking fighting an older gentleman with a wingsuit.
Yes, if that's happening across the street,
does that make you a bad person?
No, it doesn't make you like
Smoochacha. Give yourself a break.
Yeah, fucking A, dude, or lady, or person.
And then 24 police/state/SWAT/DHS vehicles and their many armed occupants later, a very drunk person got out and was arrested. I can't believe that at one point he managed to get out with beer in hand, drink some, dodge a taser and or beanbag, get back in and close the damn window. And a cop failed to smash open the window with a hammer, and he sat there for like 90 minutes drinking
Why did the
more
fucking cop
beer.
Why did the cop have a hammer?
I don't know. Also,
the cop. Hold on, I need to go to the local hardware store. I might need to smash a window of some Juggalo. What kind of hammer was it?
It was not Mjolnir.
What?
Mjolnir. It was
Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mjolnir. I always thought it was Mjolnir. I mistook the L for something else. And then when Kat, what's her name from Two Broke Girls?
Denning.
Kat Dennings. Is it Denning or Dennings?
She's buxom.
She is buxom, and she's like Mjolnir. She says it. Meow 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 meow
meow
meow meow. Yeah, she says she has all sorts of names for it. I will miss her in Thor Ragnarok. I just gotta say, I won't necessarily miss Natalie.
I like how she's Kat and she's saying meow meow.
Yeah. I won't necessarily. I mean, I like Natalie Portman. I don't think she's fantastically well cast in the Thor movies.
She's typically not fantastically well cast in anything.
She's pretty good at Black Swan. She won the Oscar for that. I mean, it's a fucking creepy movie.
It is.
At any rate,
but Meg Griffin, I think, is better in that movie.
Oh, wait.
What's her butt?
Yes, her.
Yeah.
I did a
I like
an episode of my show, the 5-Second Critic back in the day, about that movie and about those two and Eric Foreman.
Eric Carmen?
Foreman from that 70s show, and how he was very jealous that Jackie got to make out with Princess Leia's mom before he did, or something. I don't know. It was a bad joke.
Yeah.
Also, and also Smoochacha reports he called...
Can you state what was your source in this?
I state your name,
Smoochacha.
He also called this is the perp called Kiss 108 in our building, same floor, requesting an ICP song about axes, and when they didn't, he tossed an axe out the window, followed by a small portable shovel after a few minutes.
I'm dumbfounded. Is this a publicity stunt?
I don't know.
Is this like Kiss 108 trying to get in the news? Did they hire a fucking guy juggalo? To dress up like a juggalo and do crazy shit?
I don't know.
I mean, this is the kind of crazy shit a juggalo might do. So I'm not saying it's not. Is this fake news?
Steve, I'm not sure anymore.
Jesus Christ!
We've gotten to a point where
because like most radio, what was it? Stern and O&A, I think, are exceptions as far as like, O&A did do crazy shit that wasn't necessarily true, but they came clean about it, later.
Right.
And, Stern typically didn't need to because he would just be like, hey, take out your tits, lady. That's why, I don't know why my Stern impression turned into nothing.
Ooh. Hey, Robin.
Ooh, Robin.
What's in the news?
Or, what else did he do? He would have celebrities in and be like, who did you have sex with? And that became Stern at the latter half, and I imagine... It still is.
It still is. Yeah. Could you please sit on my subwoofer? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
in the movie.
That was in Private Parts.
It was.
On TBU.
WNBC.
Yes.
WNBC.
I was going back to his college days at Boston University.
That's right.
On WTBU.
TBU. TB player.
Which is the Boston University college station.
TV.
Which is funny because like the what is it? The NPR or the local NPR affiliate
WBUR
is broadcast out of BU.
Is it what did TBU become BUR?
No,
or is
they
TBU
are
still
both
there?
separate stations.
Steve,
think about that.
I got another news story. I got something else for you to think about.
What's
I
that?
got another news story that came across the transom this week. Not from Smoochacha.
No, I only listen to things that come.
No, this one is
from Smoochacha.
This is reported from the Gray Lady, the New York Times, by Sewell Chan, and
this is the one you didn't tell me about.
This is the one I didn't tell you about. Are you ready, Steve?
Yes.
All right. Vatican refuses to go gluten-free at communion. The unleavened bread that Roman Catholics use in the celebration of Mass must contain some gluten, even if only a trace amount, according to a new Vatican directive. The directive, which was dated June 15th but received attention only after it was reported by Vatican Radio on Saturday.
Ooh.
Howard on Vatican Radio. Affirms an existing policy, but it may help to relieve.
Bishop. What's in the news?
What's in the gluten? Is Jesus in the gluten?
I guess
I stole
maybe
that
Jesus
joke.
is part of the gluten. I don't know.
It was on a show that I was listening to. They made that joke, but
so you're stealing jokes now.
Since the very beginning.
They're ripping me off, Robin.
3 years ago. 3 years ago, in a couple weeks. Yeah.
They're ripping me off.
Yeah,
but then that's me just doing Anthony Cumia's impression of Howard Stern.
But it may help to relieve some of the confusion surrounding church doctrine on gluten, a protein that occurs naturally in wheat and has become the subject of debates over nutrition and regulation. The issue is especially urgent for people with celiac disease, a gastrointestinal immune disorder that causes stomach pain, diarrhea, and weight loss, and that can lead to serious complications, or for those with other digestive conditions that make them vulnerable even to small amounts of gluten. Well, fuck you, celiac Catholics, Catholic celiacs. You're fucking out of luck. You don't get to imbibe the flesh of your God, and you're not going to heaven anymore, right? Is that how it works?
I guess not. Well, I mean, what
Catholic celiacs are out of luck.
I mean,
or celiac
I don't understand
Catholics. Which are you first? Are you a Catholic? You're a Catholic the moment Dad came.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a Catholic celiac.
Sure. I don't know. It's not any crazier than any other religious thing that's ever been said. So I don't know what the big deal is.
Well,
oh no! I mean, you maybe the celiacs go and petition the Pope. He seems like a reasonable guy. I don't know what the fuck.
Church of England, similar position.
The C of E.
The C of E. Title. No, what does that even mean? Yeah. No. I thought that was.
That's what they call it, the C of E.
The C of E. Is that what? Yeah. Church of England.
Yeah.
The
Brits call it
that. They want to be Catholic, except that their fucking Henry, he wanted to get divorced.
Yeah,
he wanted to fuck Anne Boleyn. That's why we have the CED.
I mean, who doesn't?
Well, did you ever watch the Tudors?
No.
So in the Tudors, Anne Boleyn is played by what's her name? The woman who was Game of Thrones spoilers.
Oh.
From like 2 seasons ago or whatever. She was and she was in the big church that, spoilers for last season. Pause, mute it for like 30 seconds, in the big church that blew up. What the hell was she was from the scantily dressed place, and she was
wow, this is really...
anyway, she kissed Captain America in Captain America the First Avenger,
the World Police.
Anyway, so she was Anne Boleyn, and I happen to find her attractive, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So when you made the comment about like who wouldn't want to,
and you raised your... I mean, you didn't raise your hand because
I raised something else.
Oh, his weenie.
Yeah. No. Oh, well. So, Steve, I skipped past a natural transition just a second ago.
Oh yes.
Because
you had to bring up Catholics for some reason.
The Catholic celiacs. I had to bring that up, but there was
and maybe that was a kind of a
maybe. But there was a natural transition I was supposed to make out of our discussion of juggalos into something that you did this week.
Oh yes. So we're this brings me back to I think the late 90s.
Natalie Dormer. That's who it brings me back to. Natalie Dormer.
No, this brings me back to late 90s. We were picking up Chinese food. I forget what it used to be called, but it was the Chinese food restaurant that was in Drum Hill, getting fucking crazy local for you.
Mai Kai? No. Mai Tai is a drink. Mai Kai?
Was it Mai Kai? And now it's like I think it's a Thai place.
It's a Thai place. It might be Mai Kai. My parents liked going there every once in a while. That was our second choice beyond
the Hong Kong.
The Hong and Kong. Yeah.
So yeah, we were there. It was myself, Paul, and Will picking up
a juggalo,
picking up Chinese food there, and bringing it back to Paul's house. While we were standing and waiting, there was like those little like home books that had a bunch of like listings for real estate books.
Yeah.
Will picks one up and
Yeah.
he kind of flips through it and he goes, "I'm thinking of buying a home." So we are more than thinking about it. We are actually planning. So we have gotten to the step in the process where you do a home inspection.
Oh, I remember these. These are fun.
So they
run the faucets and
the guy was very thorough, and he was
a good man.
He was a good man and thorough, and he was very nice. And so we had a good inspection, and it was pretty much uneventful except for everybody was kind of we're in the basement and doing all the basement checking out stuff, and I looked in the closet that was under the stairs of the basement, and I found this so alarmingly creepy clown. And so I tweeted it.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, you can put it in the show notes. Also, if you check out my Twitter, I have a little tweet that says "Greetings from the home inspection," and it's the picture of the clown in the closet. So.
Now people need to know you don't tweet that often anymore. So this was a big deal when I saw a tweet that was not about the show. I was like, "Ooh, Steve's tweeting," and then I scrolled just a little bit further, and I'm like, "Holy shit! What the fuck is that?"
So yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, the house. I mean, it's good. We're planning on buying it. And, I'll refrain from
saying anything more.
Saying anything more, so as to not jinx things or whatever.
Right.
But
I'm knocking on wood for you.
But yeah, the clown was. I'm like, and the thing that Becky brought up that was odd is that it's obviously a Halloween decoration, but when we were looking in the closet, we saw no other Halloween decoration. So it's like, why is it your only Halloween decoration is this terribly creepy clown?
Really creepy clown.
And they had like a little, like the people that own the house currently have like a little kid.
Now, wait a minute, Steve. I gotta do some. So
I mean,
your home inspection wasn't on Monday, was it?
No, it was on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, it was like, is it possible that the person you're buying the house from went to Kiss 108 and...
Shit, is it the same person? Or is it like that doll comes alive and becomes a juggalo?
The doll is part of a secret juggalo cult.
I don't think there's anything secret about being a juggalo.
Well, I mean,
and it's not necessarily a cult. It's sort of a coven.
Okay, so it's
of like-minded individuals.
They put it in the Juggalo church altar, right? Can you be a celiac and a juggalo? You can't be a celiac and a Catholic.
Yeah, but you could possibly. I mean, you could eat your gluten-free and be a juggalo. That's probably why it's so alluring to young people.
Gluten-Free Juggalo?
Mm-hmm. That could be the title.
The picture would certainly go along with it. See, now there's a reason that I brought up the gluten. We got a title out of it. We'll get a few chuckles, a few yucks. Let me check the list here.
A few yuckos.
A few yuckos. You never know. So okay, there's a few things left. I'm a speed round one of these things. No, am I?
We'll just do one thing.
Well, we got 14 minutes left. One of them is not all that interesting.
Well, we could talk Spidey because we only brought it up briefly.
We only brought it up briefly, yes. So I will save my asking you your opinion about Scandinavian jokes
for next time.
Either for next time or for the end if we run out of Spidey.
Oh yeah, because next week, for those of you that have been listening from the beginning, or for those of you that just started listening, next week will be our 3rd anniversary show.
Our 3rd anniversary.
Yes. Well, that's how I sent the email to you.
You sent me a note and it was called 3rd anniversary ideas.
Now, for the people that have listened to our 1st and 2nd anniversary shows, and this is tearing down the 4th wall, we have made flashback shows, and I did air quotes there.
Yes.
Because we flashed back to things that never actually happened. It was just an opportunity for us to do little bits that we wanted to do, and it was fun. This year we're gonna go for a classic,
actual flashback
show because I am getting my wisdom teeth pulled next Wednesday.
Yeah.
By the time you return from your vacation, I will probably be more coherent, but I don't know how great my speech is going to be. So it'll, like the interstitials in between, in between the flashbacks will probably have me sounding like a complete asshole.
Well,
But I mean, so that's we're gonna do it. We're actually gonna do a flashback show. We've gone through. Some of
you're giving me a lot of credit here. Steve went through.
No, but you do a lot of fucking work, so shut up.
All right.
So we've gone through and we've kind of picked out some ones that we really like from this past year, and we'll actually have a little. We'll go. So we'll try to steer away from the anger about the orange dickhead that is that in our opinion is the worst thing, or one of the worst things that's ever happened to this country. But we're gonna steer towards some of the more humorous and poignant things that we've said over the course of the year.
Yeah. But before that, this week we're gonna talk about Spider-Man.
Yes, we are.
So if there were a spoiler horn, are we gonna spoil things?
No, let's try not to.
We'll try not to. All right. If you haven't seen it yet, we're going to avoid what we would call a spoiler. But if you want to stay absolutely 100% pure,
So I just most of all, I want to talk about Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
He lived long enough to see himself become the villain.
Yes, which is great.
That's another damn joke that I stole.
I'm
sure that the person I saw make that joke was not the first person to make that joke.
And this wasn't a movie that was too full of villains.
No,
there was I counted 2 major villains. Well, not major, but one major villain, one minor villain in the Shocker. So if you were surprised that happened, sorry, it's a shocker.
That's a shocker.
But Michael Keaton, I like the way they started the film, with him.
Yeah.
And this is not a spoiler for the first scene in the fucking movie.
No.
I think if anybody is paying attention, like that first scene, him and his crew are basically cleaning up after the events of the first Avengers,
the Battle of New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so basically, he's a contractor that's trying to rebuild basically New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think
then,
Grand Central Station in particular.
I don't know if it's the government or people that are affiliated with Stark or both.
I think they end up saying it's a joint. This is a little bit of a spoiler, but it's a joint task force, a joint government and Stark task force called Damage Control.
Okay.
Which is a shout out at the comics. They don't really. I mean, Damage Control in the comics was a kind of a comedic book, and that's not really the angle they're taking here. Okay. But they're the group that cleans up after all the superhero battles.
Okay. So the thing is, the Michael Keaton's like group of guys, like they were contracted to do this, and then the government Stark organization comes in and says no.
Yeah.
And all they had to do was compensate him for like the any sort of losses, or basically just say here's some cash to make up for the fact that we're taking this away from you.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, and then in essence created a supervillain.
Yeah, and so Keaton in interviews I've seen, he makes a point of saying what you would call a villain. Like he doesn't approach, and that's one of the great things about Michael Keaton is like, yeah, he's the villain of the movie.
Yeah, but I did not.
But from an actor's perspective, he did not approach it as like I need to be mustache twirling in the way that like, fucking what's the guy who played the Green Goblin in the very first Spider-Man.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. That movie has its charms, right? And like Willem Dafoe is going for the mustache twirling villain in that, like, and he's purposely going for it. In this, Michael Keaton is going for you guys screwed me. I gotta put food on my table.
Yeah, but at a certain point, it's no longer about putting food on the table. It's just because like this is what he does now.
Yeah, yeah. It becomes business. Yeah. By later in the opening scene, it's even there's a little bit of a time jump and
a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get like super geeky on it because I think this is one of the.
But I liked him as a character, and that's and I'm bringing up One Piece again. Yeah. Like I like villains that have more of a motivation than I'm a crazy person that wants to take over the world.
He is certainly the best villain since Loki, in these Marvel movies, and maybe even better. I don't know. I've seen the movie twice now. I've seen the Loki involved movies many times. So I can't say for sure, but he definitely is the best villain they have outside of a Loki.
Yeah, I mean he is just as relatable, and there's a conversation with him and Peter at a certain point, or Spider-Man. Yeah, spoilers. Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That he has, and it's basically the you're just like me kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And he's kind of right. But he doesn't say those words, and I think the half of the bad guys say that they were glad he doesn't say those exact words, because I think Willem Dafoe does say those exact words to Peter Parker in the original
and I'm
Spider-Man.
Sure who is the villain? Oh, it's the Lizard. It's the Lizard in Amazing Spider-Man with the other guy, and I don't know if he says those words, but they do one of the things that they do a really good job of in this, and I love the Keaton stuff. The other thing that I love about this movie is that they avoid doing the overplayed Spider-Man tropes. So like Spider-Man never says with great power comes great responsibility, but he never tries to say anything even remotely like that. Because one of the problems with the Amazing Spider-Man, which was the Andrew Garfield one, is that they redo the Uncle Ben thing, and they've got fucking Martin Sheen saying with great power comes great responsibility without saying those words. But he basically, like, you could see that he's trying to get the point across with a line that's not that line, and it's just like, don't fucking say it at all. Get it across in some other goddamn way. We don't get any Uncle Ben in this movie. Sorry, spoilers.
Because they don't do the origin story.
Because they don't
anymore.
do the origin story.
Because we've seen the origin story like in film twice already. Well, I've only seen it once because I never saw The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, so the most that we get out of it is a really neat little moment between Peter and Ned is his best friend in this movie, where
the guy in the chair.
Yeah, the guy in the chair.
See the movie, then you know what we're talking about.
You know what we're talking about. There's a great little moment between Peter and Ned where Peter says like he doesn't want May to worry about him because of everything that she's gone through lately, and that's it. We know if we know anything about Spider-Man that what she's gone through lately is Uncle Ben got killed and like whatever. If you don't know that, it doesn't affect the movie that you don't know that.
Right.
You just know that look at the look on Peter's face as he tells Ned that. He's like, my aunt's been through some shit. I don't want her to be worrying about me. So we've talked about the serious moments of this. The other thing that makes this movie so great is how fucking funny it is.
Yeah, I mean it's. I think they wrote it as more of a comedy. I mean, there's definitely crazy action scenes. It's a fucking superhero movie, but the script, you know, is definitely written like with a lot of humor. Yeah,
I mean the I remember when I read, and I'm one that I read all sorts of spoiler reports and like what's going on in the set and whatever. And ages ago, there were reports that Chris Evans, Captain America, was in this movie. And I was like, that worried me at the time, right?
But then when you watch the movie, you're like, oh my God, that's great.
That is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Because like, and people worried about the amount of Iron Man. So what I was worried about back in the day is like, well, you already told us that you've got Tony Stark in this movie. To have Tony Stark and Captain America in this movie after Civil War where they don't get along, like how are you going to do that without dragging this movie down with the weight of all the Marvel stuff? And instead what they do is they have Peter live in this world where there are already superheroes. So we don't need any fucking super close-ups on his fingers and seeing the creepy little hairs that come out of... Like with Tobey Maguire in that first movie where like we've got to zoom in on his hands to see these got creepy little spikes coming out of them. That's how he climbs walls.
Yeah.
We don't need to see any of that shit because we already know superpowers exist. This kid can climb fucking walls.
And I like how, like, you know, they brought it back to, like, Peter creating his web fluid.
Yeah. Yes, because the Tobey Maguire, they did that in the Andrew Garfield one.
Okay, I didn't know.
But yeah, that was one of the things that bugged me about the Sam Raimi movies, the ones with Tobey Maguire, is that they went with the organic web shooters, as they call them. The web stuff came out of him, which had its little moments of comedy in those movies. But Peter's a science nerd. Like getting back to the whole like Big Bang Theory thing that we started off with, like Peter's a nerd, and he goes to a nerd school too. Like that, I love that part of it too. Is that like Flash, who's the bully, and he showed up in the other two movies.
The bully,
he is just another science nerd. He's just like a rich science nerd.
Yeah,
you know, and like an overconfident one who, like, when they're doing their quiz team stuff, you know, gets answers wrong, and when Peter gets answers right, like the kind of bully he is like, fuck you, Parker. Like that was my chance to shine. Like,
yeah, and he's not terribly menacing in any way.
No,
he just calls him Penis Parker.
Yeah, he calls him Penis. So I took my kids. The second time I went, I took my kids, and I was like, are they going to walk out of here, you know, chanting Penis Parker? I warned them not to say, like, not to repeat the various swear words and not to repeat the one gesture.
You could just be like, don't say anything that Grandpa says, and you're good.
All right, I was going to do you can find the show notes, but okay, so because this is dumb, but I have these two Scandinavian jokes that I really okay. So I think was it okay, fucking Joe Pesci. Whenever I say okay to myself,
it was more I think Dennis Leary there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Does he say okay? Okay.
He does say okay a lot.
See, I always thought I was conjuring Joe Pesci.
It might be
a combination.
Amalgam.
Might be a mashup. All right. So the first one, which I think I shared before, was why are there barcodes on the sides of Swedish warships?
I don't know, Chris.
So that when they get back to port, they can Scandinavian. right? And I was like,
my eye just twitched.
That one's pretty bad, right? Or pretty good, depending on your perspective. Then I saw this one this week. So I got to see if your eye twitches more. All right, ready?
I'm going to shut it.
If a Norwegian robot analyzes a bird, it's Scandinavian. Now, if I had to describe that reaction, that was like Steve had one eye closed, sleep with one eye open. No, he had one eye closed.
I was gripping my pillow tight.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/155. And if you'd like to comment on anything that we've said today, you can send us an email to hot@clarkwoods.com. Or you can tweet us. I am at ECC1977.
And I am at Tuesday is Loser.
That's Tuesday.
Tuesday IS Loser, all one word. That's not several at symbols. I was just saying at.
If you put too many ats in there, it's not gonna do anything.
Well, you don't want to be attacked by an at.
No. But what about a cat? A Kit Kat?
Kat Dennings? Meow meow.